The pursuit and acquisition of U Darvish has been a 2-year journey, a process of diligence filled with intrigue. It's been viewed as both a gamble and a sure thing. His status in his native Japan is that of a rock star, an icon. His introduction to the Rangers in America was an event. The intrigue continued through spring training, but the Rangers' assessment became clearer. Darvish is all that's been advertised. His presence, his command, his arsenal, all emerging. Tonight, one journey ends and another begins. The Major League debut of U Darvish is next, here on Fox Sports Southwest. Welcome to the opening week of baseball, presented by Burger King. And welcome tonight on a cool, somewhat humid, overcast night, the Rangers ballpark in Arlington. First of the 4-game series, the Seattle Mariners are here to visit the Rangers, their tormentors over the last several years. And welcome, Dave Barnett, along with Tom Grieve. It is 9 a.m. tomorrow in Japan, and we can only assume that country is at a standstill based on the number of media who are here to document this event. The debut of U Darvish, we saw him in the spring, and we saw how impossible to hit he can be when he has his best stuff out there.
Well, the good thing about spring training, Dave, is each start got better, and the last couple of starts were terrific. He's ready to pitch today. I don't know that you can go back and remember more anticipation or excitement for a young pitcher's debut. Might have to go back 39 years to David Clyde's debut. But this kid can pitch. He's only 25 years old, but he's pitched professionally in the Japanese League already for 7 years. He's put up numbers there that very few pitchers have ever put up in Japan. He's a terrific pitcher. He's talented. He's got the right makeup. Who knows what will happen tonight, but he's ready for this, and he's excited about it himself.
And the third batter he will face, Ichiro. 11 years ago, he had somewhat similar mania. But tonight here at the ballpark, it is all about U-mania. And we get underway. Lineups and first pitch in a moment. U Darvish working to Sean Figgins as the Mariners get their first look at the Japanese phenom. 6'5", 215, 25-year-old from Osaka. He has missed high and away. And again to Figgins. Will be followed by Dustin Ackley and then Ichiro here in the top of the first. And Figgins off to a terrific start. He's playing left field to begin this year. And Darvish's first 4 missing the zone. But that didn't happen very often last year. 36 walks in 232 innings.
Yeah, you could check out his numbers in Japan. Pretty spectacular numbers. An ERA career-wise under 2. 2-time Pacific League MVP. Opponents hit just a little bit over 200 against him. And early in spring training, Darvish was talking about trying to improve the command of his fastball. And as spring training went on, particularly in his last couple of starts, the command of his fastball was terrific. But today, opening day for him, a little bit amped up, probably a little bit overexcited. He's thrown 5 straight fastballs out of the strike zone. There we go.
Umpiring crew a little amped up too. They got underway a little early. Dustin Ackley DHing. Off to a very nice start for the 3-1 Seattle Mariners, who are atop the American League West, and it's 1-2. Half game ahead of the Rangers.
One thing we saw from Darvish the last couple of games was his ability to throw his 2-seam fastball, which sinks and really tails into right-hand hitters. And he hit a lot of bats off the handle. And that looked like it could be one of his best pitches.
He's got a lot of movement, unable to control it so far. That one at 95.
Now that's his 2-seam fastball, and it does. It'll move away from a left-hand hitter. And when it's near the strike zone, left-hand hitters will hit a lot of balls right off the end of the bat on that pitch.
Figgins still with good speed at first base. As Ackley hammers that one into the crowd. Last year 18-6, an ERA of 1.44 in 232 innings. Japanese hitters hit only 190, hit only 5 home runs off U Darvish in his final year in Japan. Another breaking ball is foul back.
Ackley is one of the Mariners that they're counting on to be a cornerstone of their lineup. Middle of the order guy. He's a high #1 draft choice. He's a good hitter. Got called up to the big leagues last year and really held his own in his first stint with the Mariners.
Waves at that breaking ball. And the first strikeout is in the books for U Darvish.
Yeah, the pitch fooled Ackley. He was able to foul off some breaking balls, but the last one stayed up. And actually, you can tell by the way he went after it that he was not only fooled by the speed, I think he was fooled by the way it stayed up on him.
Well, this has got to be one of the biggest moments in recent Japanese sports history. The first time these two face off. Ichiro off the worst year of his career, but a good start this year. Ichiro last year had his worst batting average by some 31 points as a Mariner. He hit .272. He's been dropped from first to third in the order. See if that produces more home runs out of him this year.
You probably won't see an outfield alignment, especially in left field by David Murphy, any more extreme with a left-hand hitter than the Rangers are employing right now. David is way over near the line. We play Ichiro 19 times a year, so they've got a pretty good idea where he hits the ball. And a lot of his balls go to left field.
Murphy's barely in fair territory over there. Mike Napoli's behind the plate. And there is that alignment.
Josh way over in left center field. Nelly Cruz over toward right center field. The only time you really get in trouble with this alignment is if he throws a slow pitch and Ichiro gets out in front of it and pulls it. Then you got a chance for a triple.
A bluff by Figgins and a foul back by Ichiro. AT media expected here today, representing a half dozen Japanese radio and TV networks, 2 wire services, and 15 newspapers. This is the moment they have been waiting for.
I talked to a number of the Japanese media to try to gauge which was a bigger event, Ichiro's debut or Darvish's debut. And they all said they're both incredibly important, but that possibly Ichiro's was a little bigger because he was the first to get his opportunity.
Yeah, before his arrival had been all pitchers, and here's the first guy who it was thought could be a decent everyday player. No one had any idea how beyond decent he would become.
First position player, right. The other thing they all said is, as far as respect goes and the way that they're revered, Hideki Matsui is right there with Ichiro in Japan.
Darvish's first 5 pitches all out of the zone. Since then, 8 of his last 11 have been strikes. And this one is looped out to shallow left and over Beltre's head. It's a base hit.
That's Ichiro right there. That guy gets more cheap hits than anyone in the history of baseball. But that's his game. I've said this many times. You can't say it's luck because that's the way he hits. Little dinky ground balls. This ball sliced off the end of the bat like a little chip shot to the green. Doesn't hit the ball very hard, but he's effective.
A step beyond Beltre, his former teammate. So 2 on with 1 out for the former Ranger Justin Smoke. Justin acquired July 2 years ago in the Cliff Lee trade. And looks at the curve in the dirt.
Doesn't throw a lot of those slow curveballs. The one you can remember if you watched the game against the Colorado Rockies was the one he struck Troy Tulowitzki out with after a number of hard pitches, hard breaking balls, sliders, and fastballs. Pulled the string on him and had Tulowitzki way out in front of it. Need a ground ball right here. Turn a double play.
It is belted down the right field line and hooks foul. So here is Eric Wedge's lineup. And we've seen the first 3 smoke up now, to be followed by Kyle Seager, Michael Saunders. Those 2 off to good starts. Miguel Olivo, the veteran catcher. Another new face from Japan, Munenori Kawasaki is at second, and Brendan Ryan batting 9th at short. Two and 1 to Justin, yet to develop the way the Mariners thought he would when they held out for and eventually got him in the Cliff Lee trade. Ironically, now a teammate of the man the Yankees would not trade for Cliff Lee. Jesus Montero out tonight with a stomach virus. A little low, says Paul Noward, and it's 3 and 1.
And you can understand why Darvish might be a little bit over anxious to start this ball game. A lot of hype, a lot of anticipation for this first game. He knows how many people are watching in Japan.
And his 22nd pitch is lined into right field, and Cruz takes it on a hop.
Whoa, where's he throwing that ball?
Way off at third is where it ends up, and the bases are loaded.
Good aggressive try by Nelly. Nelly comes in on the ball very well, and he gave it a good shot. If he was going to be able to shoestring it, he was going to give it a try, and he was able to catch the ball on a short hop to keep it out in front of him. Runners all had to hold up a little bit because they weren't sure if Nelly was going to catch it. Nelly came up firing, but almost threw the ball away to left field, down the left field line.
It's amazing he short hopped it, not looking at the ball, already looking at his target. So 1 out, bases loaded for Kyle Seager. Young third baseman Mike Ackley out of the University of North Carolina. He is off to a strong start. All that against Oakland A's pitching in Japan and Oakland, their first 4 games.
I think the one obvious, pretty obvious, you just have to feel if Darvish can get a ground ball, get a double play, keep the damage down, get back in the dugout, take a deep breath, he'd get this first inning under his belt. Everything will be a little bit easier after this.
Pitch count is really mounting. That is his 24th evenly split now between balls and strikes.
And one thing unusual about the schedule this year is there's not many off days in April. There's only 2 off days in April. In fact, the Rangers play 10 times before they have an off day. I really can't remember a time where the season started without an off day in the first 10 days of the season.
Yeah, what happened to the off day after opening day?
Usually you have that just as a formality in case of a rainout. And so the Rangers have used 3 relievers in all 3 games.
Darvish ready for the 1-2 pitch to Seager. And that is hammered into the gap, right center field. Scoring Figgins, scoring Ichiro, and sending Justin Smoke to third, and the Mariners jump off to a 2-0 lead.
He's not quite getting the same movement on that sinker that he was getting at the end of spring training. You know, that can be because he's a little bit too strong, a little too much adrenaline flowing. He's trying to get this ball in, and he got some movement on it, but unfortunately the movement brought the ball right back to the center of the plate. Trying to jam him with that pitch, but never got it in there.
So Mike Maddox quickly out to the mound. Ron Washington, by the way, says that U Darvish has a very good grasp of English, and especially baseball English. He gets the idioms, he gets the concepts in English. Whatever Mike Maddox needs to tell him, there will be no communication issues. He has an interpreter, as all Japanese players do, but using him really only for his dealings with the media and in more formal conversations with the Ranger staff, just to ensure to the staff that he understands what it is they're saying to him. But his clubhouse conversations, those are in English and Spanish. He's learning both languages. Good breaking ball to Michael Saunders for strike 1. A guy who had a miserable time last year, hitting 149. Starts this year at 308. That is Darvish's first pitch strike, by the way. And that one comes right back to Napoli. It does allow Seager second base, but Smoke has to stay put at third.
It's very dangerous for a runner at third base on a wild pitch in this ballpark. Sometimes they hit back there, and if they hit the cement, they bounce back just like that. And if you go, you won't get halfway home. Sometimes they hit the soft part, the padding back there, and they just kind of stay right there, in which case you can score. So you have to be alert on anything that gets by the catcher.
Napoli had to be so alert as to keep it from bouncing past him coming back. When have you ever seen that? Right off the bricks. So the Mariners now 2 in scoring position. Still only 1 out. The Ackley strikeout. Saunders did nothing against the Rangers last year. This spring worked on shortening his swing. Work with a sports psychologist on the overall outlook. And he works the count to 3-1 on the 30th pitch of U Darvish's first major league inning. Rangers would have hoped he'd be through 2 by this pitch count.
There's what he's trying to do to the left-hand hitters when he throws that sinker, is get it to tail away. That was a good pitch right there. You see the movement on this pitch, how it brings it from left to right.
And the bases again load up for Miguel Olivo. Darvish's second walk among the first 6 batters he faces. 2 walks, 3 singles.
Well, Olivo's not easy to walk. Last year in almost 500 at bats, he only walked 20 times. Good slider for a strike. Struck out 140 times and walked 20 times. But he's got some power. Don't want to make a mistake to him. Hit 19 home runs.
A little looper. And over Kinsler's head for a base hit. Scoring smoke. Seager stops at third. Olivo drives in the Mariners' 3rd run.
They've hit a couple of balls hard. Smoke hit his line drive hard. Seager hit his ball pretty good. And then there's been a couple of chinkers. Ichiro's little blooper. And this slider, Olivo, just hits right off the end of the bat and just dumps it over Kinsler's head. So a couple of bloopers and a couple of line drives and also a couple of walks, making this a long inning. 34 pitches right now for U Darvish. We can see how long Ron Washington can go before he gets Scott Feldman up in the bullpen. Not much longer.
Here's another countryman, Munenori Kawasaki from Kagoshima, Japan. 30-year-old, signs a free agent in January.
In fact, Feldman's going to get up now. You have to have him ready just in case the inning doesn't end for Darvish. If you're wondering what might have been the most pitches anyone can remember in the first inning of a game, the most I remember was Todd Stottlemyre had a game where he threw 50 pitches in the first inning of a ball game.
And was there a second inning for Todd Stottlemyre?
I can't remember. I think he got out of the first inning and ended up pitching farther than that.
Now Elvis Andrus in, a word of encouragement. Don't know if he ever had an inning quite like this in Japan. With a string of ERAs under 2, they were very few. And a 4-pitch bases loaded walk, scoring Kyle Seager with the Mariners' 4th first inning run. So his 3rd walk of the inning. One walk is now scored. Saunders is at 3rd after his walk. Olivo at 2nd after his RBI bloop. And Feldman continues to heat up out there as the Mariners bat around in the 1st.
Well, you know, for a pitcher with normally good command, he's thrown 38 pitches. Only 18 of them have been strikes. 20 balls and 18 strikes.
So here is Brendan Ryan. Mariners rave about his glove. Happy with his bat so far. Missed some time with a stiff neck suffered by a bad night's sleep, according to Eric Wedge. Very little damage last year against the Rangers. His first year with the Mariners. He had 248 overall.
There's a good sinker down and in. Well, you know, Ryan must be a pretty good defensive player. He's had almost 440 at bats the last 2 years, one with St. Louis, one with Seattle. And he's averaged out at about 230, 235.
Crowd behind Darvish, and the 0-2 pitch swung on and missed.
I just love to see him get out of the first inning, not have to bring in a relief pitcher, regroup and come back and, put 5 innings up and make the first inning the only inning that Seattle scores, and put some pressure on the Ranger offense, which perfectly capable of coming back and scoring a bunch of runs early themselves.
Back to Sean Figgins, who began this parade with a 4-pitch walk. It's time. First pitch grounds out to Beltre. 42 pitches for U Darvish in his first American inning and a 4-0 deficit. Overcome. Kinsler leading off back at second, DH last night. Elvis at short, Hamilton in center, Beltre at third, Michael Young is the DH with Cruz in right, Murphy in left, Napoli catching, and Moreland at first against Hector Noesi.
Noesi with the Yankees last year had 4 different stints up and down from the minor leagues. His numbers were 2-2, 447. He was a terrific pitcher in the minor leagues. 30-18 with a 2.98 ERA. Came over from the Yankees in the Michael Pineda trade. He was a pitcher that the Yankees wanted to upgrade to Pineda, and the Mariners wanted to put Noesi in their rotation to take the place of Pineda. They feel like Pineda can be a successful major league pitcher based on his minor league credentials. You'd have to think he could.
First 2 pitches missed to Kinsler.
Big person in that trade coming from the Yankees was Montero. Montero's not in the lineup tonight, but he'll be in the lineup almost every day for the Mariners this year.
And a strike to Ian, who got himself that quick 2-game cycle by a second at bat of his second game Saturday. Friday at his 3rd career opening day home run. Noesi was thought of in some Yankee circles to have been pretty much the equal of Ivan Nova. This tells you what they thought of him. So to get Montero, who was 3 years running been the Yankees' top prospect, and Noesi, they took a prize in Michael Pineda, but Mariners came away with a pretty hefty end and a leadoff walk for both ends of the first inning. As we check the Mariners defense, brought to you by the Three Stooges, the movie. Figgins, Saunders, Ichiro, the outfield. Seager, Ryan, Kawasaki, and Smoke the infield with the veteran Olivo doing the catching. And here's Elvis. 1 for his first 12. That hit, though, very useful. An RBI single on Saturday, then scored on the sacrifice fly. And not a sharp start by Noesi, who misses on 5 of his first 6 pitches. Elvis, the only Ranger with a hit against Noesi, was a double last June 16th at Yankee Stadium. Just on the outside edge. Elvis bigger, stronger after the offseason. Did 400 out in Arizona, tied for 4th in the Cactus League. Noesi made 30 appearances with the Yankees last year, only 2 of which were starts. But he says, all my career I've been a starting pitcher. I have prepared to be a starting pitcher in the big leagues. And in Seattle, that is exactly what he is. Falling behind Andrews. That appearance last June 16th against the Rangers went an inning and 2/3 in the 7th inning of the game he held. And the Yankees went on to win it 3-2 in 12 innings. They originally signed him in December of 04 as a 17-year-old. He has spent 7 years in their organization.
In the minor leagues, Noesi averaged over 8 strikeouts per 9 innings and under 2 walks per 9 innings. So he's a strikeout pitcher and a control pitcher. And I'm sure he's a little bit amped up for his start in a Mariners uniform, coming over from the Yankees, wanting to prove that he can be a big part of that trade. Well, he's struggling himself in the first inning with his command.
Like Darvish, he is just 25, out of Esperanza, Dominican Republic.
Love to see him take that pitch right there. That's a good second place hitter. Young pitcher on the mound, struggling with his control. You don't want to help him out by swinging at a borderline pitch and making it out. Instead, make him throw 2 strikes. 2 straight strikes. Hadn't been able to do it yet. Maybe you can work a walk. You can see the same pitch 3-2 anyway. If it's a strike, hit it.
Kinsler running on ball 4.
And that's exactly what can happen. So many times you see a big league hitter say, okay, 3-1. This is my count. I got a great chance to get a fastball. I'm ripping. Then you make it out. You hit into a double play and the inning's over. Instead, if you're a good second place hitter, you know you can make contact. You know you're going to see a fastball 3-1. You're going to see another one 3-2. Take the one. For the strike, good. He's got to do it again. That time he couldn't. Now you've got 2 men on and nobody out, and the big guy's coming up.
Beginning with Josh Hamilton. The White Sox not sorry to have a respite from pitching to Josh. Hit one 441 feet last night into the bottom left corner of the upper porch.
He just missed hitting a couple other ones that far the game before it that the Rangers lost by 1 run. Just got underneath a couple. Had great swings at him. Just missed him.
As usual, Josh ready for the first pitch. Check our forward leaderboard. 441 feet, huh? Where does that stack up? Not on this list. Longest homers in ballpark history. Josh, 2 years ago, 490. Same basic area. Jose Canseco to the back wall of the visitors' bullpen. 0-2. I think we will see the day, Tom, when we see Nelson Cruz hit 500 feet.
You might. You might, depending, you know, right pitch, right park, right conditions. Might need the wind blowing out just a little bit. Just hit one perfectly with a right trajectory.
I think the Captain Morgan Club could be within his range.
I think under optimal conditions, you might be right. Saw Mike Piazza during batting practice in the All-Star game back in the mid-90s. Hit one over the bullpen and bounce and hit what is now the Captain Morgan's club on one bounce. The ball that Canseco hit a third of the way up the bullpen wall and went 480 feet. So to go over that green wall back there is over 500 feet.
Way in at 93. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
See if he throws him a changeup right here. Got him to swing at a changeup for strike 2.
Two on, nobody out.
He did. Josh hung in there and fouled it off. Good pitch by Noesi right there. That's the pitch Josh missed for strike 2. But after seeing it and having a little bit more of a 2-strike approach, he was able to hang in there and foul it off.
Here's Paul Nowert with Dana DeMuth at first. Kerwin Danley at second. Doug Eggings at third. And the 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball hammered down the right field line, but foul.
Well, there's been 3 or 4 balls the first week of the season that the Rangers have just missed. David Murphy hit one down the right field line that he just missed. Beltre hit one the other day down the left field line that just missed being fair. This one that Josh hits is, well, it's fouled by a couple feet, but not by much. That was an off-speed pitch, 3rd off-speed pitch, and Josh is coming a lot closer to centering one of those. It's definitely foul, but it was close.
Well, the wedge has been in play this opening homestand of the year. It's the second time it's had an assault. A good crowd tonight, expected to be around 44,000. That would make it the smallest of the first 4 home crowds this year.
And as we said on the second day of the season, what an increase from 10-15 years ago when you played the Mariners on a Monday night, first week of the season.
Hamilton trying the other end of the ballpark.
And there's been plenty of years where if you were playing the Mariners on a Monday night, the 4th game of the series, of the opening series of the season, there'd be maybe 20,000 people here.
Noesi gets him swinging.
He made a good pitch. That's a really good changeup, good location, tailing down and away. Good pitch.
Noesi winning out in the 8th pitch at bat. And now the Mariners to face former member of their own number, Adrian Beltre, with Seattle from 05 to 09. This year was 07. He had 276, 26 homers, 99 runs batted in. Again, this year 0 for 8 until the 2-run homer into the Rangers bullpen off Gavin Floyd last night. That is the first multi-RBI game this year by a Ranger.
Noesi's thrown 20 pitches. Only 9 of them have been strikes. And some of those strikes were balls that were swung at. Make him get it up. So got a good fastball, 92, 93 miles an hour.
Kinsler led with a walk. Andrews followed with a walk. Nothing put in play yet. Mariners hoping for 2 here. And that will be exactly what they should have gotten, but the throw by Ryan pulls smoke off the bag. That allows Kinsler to reach third base.
Oh, and you don't turn that play, you deserve to have the next hitter drive one in the gap and knock in a couple of runs. You couldn't ask for a better ball right near the bag. Shortstop gets the ball in plenty of time to get rid of it and just throws it wild. And now is when you want to make them pay for it. Get an extra out with a couple of men on base.
Elvis's slide had Ryan wary, not hitting Elvis, but that throw not anywhere in the neighborhood of Justin Smoke. And here is Michael Young.
Well, the way he came across the bag, he was 10 feet in front of the bag. If he'd stayed closer to the bag, Elvis wouldn't have been anywhere near him.
Up the middle, through for a base hit. Kinsler scores. Headed to third. Beltre is safe, and the Rangers are on the board.
Exactly what you want to see. You get a chance to turn a routine double play, you mess it up, and the other team comes back and makes you pay for it. That's an earned run. There's no error on that play. You can't assume a double play. In reality, it was an error by the shortstop, who had a routine throw and didn't make it. The Rangers have one in. Big hitters coming up and a chance to get some more.
So for Michael Young, his second run batted in of the season. And for the Mariners, pitching coach Carl Willis out for an all-infield chat. And Nelson Cruz will try to extend this first inning. This MLB on Fox season. Fox Sports proud to support Boys and Girls Clubs of America, a place where youth can reach their full potential as productive, caring, responsible citizens. To learn more, visit greatfutures.org/Fox Sports. Nelly 1 for 10 in the opening series against the White Sox. Had an 8th inning single on Saturday.
Oh boy, that pitch right there. Throw that pitch when Nelly's hot and watch a fan catch it out in the outfield. Boy, that's the ultimate hanger right there. Nelly knows he had a good one to hit.
Down 0-2. And a notion on that one. An appeal. And a no-go, says Dana Demuth. There's another Ranger who has done more damage against Seattle than anyone. 28th pitch of the inning coming from Noesi after 42 from Darvish. And the inning continues. An RBI single scores Beltre 4-2.
Well, he missed a hanger and then he got another one. And he didn't miss this one. He drilled this one to center field. Well, again, Mariners don't turn the inning-ending double play. And 2 base hits and 2 runs later, the Rangers are still going. That's almost the exact same pitch that he missed. Only this time he didn't miss it.
Right out to Saunders for Nelson Cruz's first RBI of the year.
I would be willing to bet, Dave, that in the Mariners TV booth and the Mariners radio booth, they've each said at least once, you can't give extra runs to a team like the Rangers.
At least.
And we would agree with them.
It is guaranteed trouble. And here is David Murphy, a hot first series. He and Josh Hamilton, the only Rangers with a hit in each of the first 3 games.
I said extra runs. I meant extra outs to get extra runs.
So U Darvish happy to have a long bottom of the first. After 42 pitches in the top half. Murphy has doubled down both lines and homered into the upper porch against Chicago pitching. Tied with Kinsler, 3 extra base hits, and in total bases this early juncture. That one is bounced out to Ryan, and he'll get the out at second base. But the Rangers take advantage of the opening, the extra outs, and they get 2 runs on a couple of 2-out base hits. Pitches, gives way to the second, and Dustin Ackley with a 1-pitch grounder to Kinsler. Ackley struck out in the first. Darvish's next out was 7 batters later, a strikeout of Brendan Ryan. At that point, the Mariners had 4 runs in on 4 base hits and 3 walks, including 1 with the bases loaded. Ichiro, with a man on and 1 out, blooped a single over Beltre's head into short left, kind of setting the tone for Darvish's first inning frustrations. He would later give up another bloop hit. But Tom, you would think the butterflies would be gone by now at the very least.
Well, I'm just glad that he was able to get out of the first inning.
This one is ripped, and it's over the head of Cruz and off the wall.
And give himself a chance to pitch deeper into the ball game. Well hit ball by Ichiro right there.
So the first 2 head-to-head meetings go to the veteran.
A fastball inside half of the plate. And fortunately, Ichiro didn't get that ball up in the air. Well, he almost stuck his glove up and made a great catch.
Ichiro, 13 years, Darvish is senior. Scoring position with 1 out for Justin Smoke. He worked the count to 3-1 and singled in the first. This one is bounced to the backhand of Kinsler for out number 2.
Yeah, when Hughes settles down and keeps the ball down and makes it sink, he'll get a lot of ground balls. He's got a couple choppers to second base. I'd love to get this one right here, get out of the inning with no damage done here in the second inning.
After the control issues, are you surprised at the first ball hitting this inning?
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. But you know, it's a young team. Ichiro has never been the kind of hitter that is particularly patient, and so they're looking for some balls to hit and going up there and swinging. But yeah, I'd like to see maybe a more veteran team might be a little bit more patient after you threw around 40 pitches in the first inning.
Well, that was only a 6th pitch this inning. Seager had the the big hit, a 2-run single. Then took second on a wild pitch. Came around to score their 4th run. And that one is a fair ball and in the corner, and Ichiro is home. As it rattles around to Cruz, Seager is 2 for 2 with 3 runs batted in, and it's 5-2. Two doubles in the 2nd inning.
A well hit ball by Seager. Got a ball kind of up and out over the plate.
And that brings up Michael Saunders, who worked a walk. Couldn't hold up on that one. Franklin Gutierrez on the DL with a torn pectoral muscle. They optimistically think they might have him back by early next month. One of the top defensive outfielders in baseball. So it's Saunders in center field. In the meantime, off to a very strong start. Canadian from Victoria, British Columbia. Rich Harden's hometown. That one getting through the legs of Napoli, and Seager will take 3rd base. And that is a pass ball charged to Napoli. Seager's moved up already on a wild pitch. Now pass ball 90 feet away with 2 outs. 2-2. Saunders stepping out on Darvish, about to throw just his 12th pitch of the inning. He lays off the breaking ball in the dirt this time. Saunders seeing a lot of pitches. Worked a full count his first trip as well. Gets him looking at 93. Third strikeout for Darvish. Mariners get another run on 2 hits and leave 1. Napoli to lead off the Rangers second. Brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Visit your local Ford dealer. Drive the 2012 F-150 Motor Trend Truck of the Year. Ford is the best in Texas. By Burger King, proud sponsor of opening week baseball. And by the Progressive Insurance Group. For money-saving car insurance quote, call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today. Hey, right out of Tom Breed. We reached the bottom of the second. The bottom of the Ranger order, 8-9-1. Napoli, Moreland, and Kinsler against Hector Noesi. Armed now with a 5-2 lead. Although he spent 32 pitches, 17 strikes in the first. He walked the first two hitters. Got the next two, then RBI singles by Young and Cruz. Mike off last night after going 1 for 7 Friday and Saturday. Singled in Michael Young in the second inning on Saturday for his first 2012 RBI.
You really like the way the Rangers bounced right back in this first inning after they got a break. And the Mariners didn't turn that double play to get two big 2-out hits. I'd like to see him continue right here in the second inning. There's another hanger. Mike had a great swing at it, fouled it straight back. He had the ball game that the Rangers lost, the second game against the White Sox, in his at bat when he grounded out with the bases loaded. He had a pitch like that on 2-0. Same swing, and again he just missed it.
Lights that one off the fists into foul territory.
That was against Matt Thornton, who came back bases loaded from a 3-0 count to work his way out of that jam.
And that may not happen again for a couple of years to Mike Napoli. That situation not to come through.
Well, we got accustomed to seeing him do it almost every time the last half of the season last year.
Spoiled us quickly with his .320 season. Taking over entire games. Took over the World Series. Would have been the MVP. Stays alive at 3-2. Mitch Moreland next, hitting in Kinsler. Well hit to right, but Ichiro at the edge of the warning track has room for the out. And let's welcome Jim Knox.
All right, thanks, Dave. U Darvish fans out in full force tonight, looking to see you bounce back, and we'll see if he can do just that. Community Corner tonight, talking about Matthew McConaughey, the actor, and his Just Keep Living Foundation teamed up with the Texas Rangers Baseball Foundation last month. They ran a half marathon, rock and roll marathon. The proceeds went to Just Keep Living Foundation, which is an after-school wellness program. To find out more, log on to texasrangers.com/foundation. Rangers can get back in this, can't they, huh?
Yes, they can. Yes, let's go, Rangers!
There we go. There we go.
I think our entire audio setup was just blown out. My eardrums were very enthusiastic fan. Just missing a ball on the strike to Mitch Moreland. Yesterday 0 for 1, but walked twice. Went 0 for 5 for the Chicago series. Tore it up out in Arizona, though. His last 11 Cactus League games, hit .379, homered a couple times.
I think he hit his way in spring training through the rust to where he was starting to look just like you would expect him to look by the end of spring training. He's got a chance to be just a really solid hitter for the Rangers. Just a matter of maturing as a hitter, gaining his confidence, going out and becoming consistent.
Down on strikes, the second strikeout for Hector Noesi.
Saw the White Sox try to do that to Mitch a lot too. When they got ahead with him with 2 strikes, try to throw the ball up and away. That looked like a good plan for Noesi right there.
To celebrate 40 years of baseball in the Metroplex, Metro PCS and Southwest Airlines are offering a chance to win a trip for 4 to see the Rangers play in Los Angeles. Register to win at metropcsflyaway.com. C.J. Wilson debuting in an Angel uniform with a 5-1 win at Minnesota, the Twins' home opener today. Kinsler led with a walk, scored the first of the Rangers' 2. CJ giving up only a Josh Willingham home run in a 5-1 Angel win. And they're 2-2 on the year. And that one is low to Kinsler. 2-1. Toward the hole, backhand picked by Ryan. This throw is on the mark, and the Rangers in the second inning go in order. Westy throws half as many pitches as he did in the first, just 16 needed this time. Five-2 Mariners, and then the third inning, the bottom third of their order, beginning with Miguel Olivo, who singled in a run in their 4-run first against U Darvish. Then Munenori Kawasaki and Brendan Ryan.
There's the movement he wants on that sinker. The game we saw him pitch against Colorado, he threw that pitch one right after the other. Almost looks like a left-handed slider the way it goes down and in to a right-hand hitter. I think he was just, he was a little overhyped up for the first inning and just didn't quite have the command of that pitch. He's settling down a little bit now.
Well, just looking at it from a human standpoint, how could he not be
exactly
overhyped?
I couldn't agree with you more.
You got 80 Japanese media just on the Rangers side. Many Japanese media, as always, covering Ichiro. And he takes care of Olivo on 3 strikes. Second straight strikeout, 4th of the game. And here's Emily Jones.
Well, Dave and Tom, no one knew what we were going to get from U Darvish tonight, and I don't think you knew himself. However, one thing is for sure, his battery mate was not concerned.
Going through spring training, there's no, communication problems. So, Joe being in the dugout, so, if I have anything to ask him that I really, he can't really understand, Joe will be there. So, as the signs will be fine, and we got that all squared away.
Mike Napoli with tonight's Geico quote of the game. He went on to say, quote, "You is a big boy. He'll be just fine." I think those same words could probably apply after that rough first inning, gentlemen.
No doubt. And starting to settle in. Kawasaki worked a 4-pitch bases loaded walk in the first. That was really the end of the control issues. He then retired the next 3. A run in the second on the Ichiro and Seager doubles. That one is up the middle, and it gets through for a hit. Mike Napoli talking about the communication issues again. Ron Washington before the game saying that you understands English, and in particular baseball English, the idioms, the situations. He has no worries about any communication issues, and he also understands the locker room dynamics. Early on, guys were playing spring training practical jokes on him. He understood it was on him to come right back at them the next day, which he did with relish. Didn't take him more than a minute to become accepted in that locker room.
Well, there's kind of a universal language in baseball, and I'd have to think, regardless of the country you're in, there's probably similar type pranks being pulled in clubhouses and dugouts, similar type give and take between players. So I don't think that's all that new to him. I'm sure he had many of the same kind of conversations and give or take opportunities with teammates in Japan, just as he will here.
And that one hits Brendan Ryan squarely in the back. Darvish had struck him out on 3 pitches in the first.
Just one that got away from him there. I'm certainly not going to try to hit him. He's trying to run that sinker in on him and just ran it all the way in on him. And if you're Ryan, you know you're not hit on purpose. You're just trying to get over the pain from being drilled in the back like that. Not mad, it just hurts.
So that sets up another challenge for Darvish. 2 on with 1 out, top of the order, and Sean Figgins. 4-pitch walk. Got the first inning off, and then he grounded to third to end the first. Figgins showing the Mariner fans in the last 2 Cactus League games that he's healthy, looks like himself again. Against Colorado last Wednesday of their spring training, he tripled twice over the head of the center fielder, showing he has still got the wheels.
Well, it was kind of painful, really, watching Figgins the last couple of years after seeing him so long with the Angels, and what a terrific player he was. It just didn't work out for him the first 2 years, but I wouldn't bet against him. He's too good a player. Last year he only hit 188. And if you look at the year with the Angels before he became a free agent, he scored 114 runs and walked 101 times. In the 2 years with the Mariners, he hasn't scored that many runs or walked that many times. 2 years total.
To left field, and David Murphy.
I think in the case of Figgins, he got a big contract. He was going to a new team for the first time. Players go through that transition where they try to be a better player than they've ever been. They try to do too much. They try to prove the contract. They try to prove themselves in front of their new teammates, and it just kind of snowballs. And I think that's what's happened to Figgins. He looks good. He still runs well. Just got to go back to doing the same things he did with the Angels, and he'll be fine.
So with 2 outs, here is Dustin Ackling. And Figgins, the only 2 Mariners to be 0 for 2, although Figgins has the walk and the run. Actually struck out in the first, grounded to second to begin the second. And strike 1 continues to be elusive for Darvish. First 20 batters, 12 first pitch balls. Overall, 36 strikes against 32 balls. And his chop foul, it evens the count up. Ackley yet to hit very well. Very limited sample last year against the Rangers. Started this year, though, the homer off Brandon McCarthy of the A's on opening day, and then drove in the game-winning RBI in the 11th inning. The Mariners played the A's twice in Japan and then twice in Oakland. And Justin Smoke was saying before the game that he's not sure he is yet recovered from the travel back. So going out there, not that difficult. Everyone enjoyed the stay in Japan, but there was time built in for the body clocks to reacclimate. They were off yesterday. No one gets a Sunday off, but those two teams did. But still some adjusting.
Yeah, I understand playing over there in Japan as far as promoting international goodwill, but it is tough on the players. That's why they did it so early in spring training, where they came back and still played some more exhibition games. But it's still, that's a tough trip.
Full count to Ackley. When they arrived back, they went back to Phoenix, to Peoria, to their training camp, and they took the players back to the ballpark, not to work out or do anything, but just to get there, spend some time, try to keep them up, and get them immediately back on American time.
A pretty good job by Ackley right there to spoil that pitch. A hard 3-2 slider down and in. That's a strikeout pitch, and obviously didn't hit it hard, didn't get a base hit, but just hanging in the count by fouling that pitch off is a pretty good swing.
That man is on deck. He's been a handful so far. The 3-2 pitch, line to Elvis. And Darvish gets a break with an atom ball. And his first scoreless inning. #947 Auto, and by the all-new Mazda CX-5 with 35 highway EPG. 5-2 Seattle in the Ranger third. Andrews, Hamilton, and Beltre. 2, 3, and 4 against Hector Noesi. Strike one to Andrews, who walked his first trip. Messi's 50th pitch of the night is low and away. Elvis, who hit 400 in Arizona, have to get it cranking here.
I want to wish our best to Shirley Coast, our cookie lady. Had an accident. She's at the ball game, but she's in a wheelchair. And Shirley, thank you for somehow sending up the cookies. We hope your back is better. Hope you're out of the wheelchair soon. And also
nothing stops her from cooking.
Nothing does. Thank Becky Farrell, too, from Bedford, for the chocolate brownie cake balls. Becky says her first job was in the concession stands at Old Arlington Stadium. A lot of memories from Old Arlington Stadium.
Lifted to center field and in his tracks just about. Michael Saunders handles the out. Let's check in with Jim Knox.
All right, thanks, Dave. Have Ken here. He is the president of the Dallas Japanese Association. U Darvish and the Rangers, you came out in full force tonight. How many from the Dallas Japanese Association out to come watch you and the Rangers?
There are about 300 Japanese people here in the ballpark.
300. And how big is he back in Japan? Right now about 10 a.m., so a lot of people, I'm sure, tuned in, right?
At least he's as big as Ichiro, and I know the millions of people in Japan are watching Darvish today.
There we go. Good to have you out here. Appreciate it as we root the Rangers for a comeback win here. Thank you, Ken. Dave.
All right, Jim, and Josh Hamilton jumps on the first pitch of his second at bat for a base hit.
Last time up, Noesi got Josh to miss a changeup down and away. Tries a first pitch curveball, but got it up just enough to Josh's liking. He drills that into right field. Josh really has been swinging the bat well early in the season. His batting practices look better. I think he's got his swing down and feeling good about it right now.
Strike one to Beltre. He reached on a fielder's choice, the grounder to second, which should have been the inning-ending double play. Ryan's relay from second base way wide of first, and Adrian ended up scoring as Young and Cruz followed with RBI singles. Rangers showed that in the Chicago series. They had a ground ball that did not turn into a double play. Instead, it turned into the game-winning run opening day.
That's a sign of a good team to take advantage of those opportunities, not let them slip away.
Rangers getting their second looks at Noesi, who before last year jumped from the number 24 ranked Yankee prospect all the way up to number 7. And that had some people in their organization thinking he was maybe even the equal of Ivan Nova.
Well, the Rangers in the first 4 games, they haven't started to gel yet as a unit. And a lot of them have had some pretty good pitches to hit, had some good swings, and just been fouling them off. And right on them, they just haven't really been connecting like they will. You make those same pitches when the team starts to gel, and you'll see those things turned around into line drives and base hits and home runs.
Here comes pitch number 60, and it runs the count full. With Young on deck, Michael already with an RBI single tonight. This is a series the Rangers owned last year like they have never owned a single season series. 15 out of 19 they beat the Mariners. Most wins against another club in Rangers history. Hamilton off with the pitch, which is foul back. Actually really continuing what's now a 4-year run of domination for the Rangers. 49-27 over Seattle. Last year they were 8-1 here and 7-3 at Safeco Field. Best year they've ever had at the Mariners' home park. Hamilton again going, and a line drive will fall for a base hit and get Hamilton to third.
Beltre is such a good hitter. He's a good 2-strike hitter. I don't have the slightest idea what his batting average is coming back from an 0-2 count. But it was 0-2 in this at bat. He hung in there. He gets a good pitch to hit. He rips it back through the middle. Last year with the Rangers, he only struck out 53 times. In the last couple of years, in over 1,000 at bats, he's only struck out 130 times. And he doesn't get cheated. He's not up there trying to line a base hit to right field. He's up there trying to hit the ball in the gap with all his strength. And to have a swing like that, he's kind of like Vladimir Guerrero in that respect. An all-out swing, but with great hand-eye coordination and excellent contact.
So here is a rather big at bat for just the third inning. Michael Young. 2 on and 1 out in a 3-run game.
You see Michael get a chance at that same pitch again. Fastball up. Not many hitters in the league hit a high fastball better than Michael. Two good rips and 2 foul balls straight back. Same situation Beltre's in. Now you really got to bear down with 2 strikes. Man on third and less than 2 outs. Tough situation for a hitter.
He picked on Seattle to the tune of 20 hits last year. One thing Seattle did well last year was pitch. 6th best team ERA in the league. Michael in the first inning. Right up the middle past the diving Kawasaki. To score the Rangers' first run. Kinsler, who had led with a walk. So much for Noesi's shutdown after a 4-run first in support of him.
Watch a Beltre dance off first base.
Michael, a career .303 hitter against Seattle. Grounds that one to short, and Ryan is coming home. The tag by Olivo in time, although Hamilton disagrees. And Ron Washington's about to.
The Mariners were in double play depth, but I think what Ryan said on that play to himself was, it's a slowly hit ball. I don't think I can turn 2. So I'm going to try to get the lead runner, and he did. Josh thought he slid underneath the tag, but Paul Knight made the call and ruled in favor of the throw. Let's take a look. Josh might have had an argument there. Like he might have slid right underneath the tag. Slide right into the bat. Let's see it from this angle. Never tagged him.
He missed him. Josh was absolutely right.
Yep. Great slide.
Thank goodness he didn't hurt himself sliding right on top of the bat. So the Mariners get a big break, and here is Cruz, who singled in a run in the first. One more look.
Never tagged him. Tough call for the umpire. We get it in slow motion from different angles, so it's tough to second guess the umpires. Got to make it with the dust flying spur of the moment. But that replay appeared to support Josh.
Well hit down the left
one didn't hook foul. Sooner or later, one of these guys was going to get a hold of one. Noesi's made 15 or 20 pitches right down the middle. The Rangers have fouled a lot of them off, but they didn't foul that one off. Nelly hit a line shot back up the middle to drive in a run his first time, and got that one up in the air and kept it fair and put the Rangers right back in this game at 5-5. Trying to get it in, he didn't. And Nelly got all of it. It was a line shot. Would it stay fair? It did.
First home run of the season. 4 RBIs all tonight. In his first 2 at-bats. A big rip by Murphy.
I'd be smiling too if I hit one that hard.
Happy arrival. So Hector Noesi took the mound leading 4-0. And he's now got a 5-5 game. Murphy just out in front.
The second 2-out hit that Nelly has had in this ballgame. Nelly's been doing some damage to the Mariners.
It is his 17th career homer against Seattle. That's the most against any opponent for Nelson Cruz.
Well, you figure it'd be someone in the West since we play them so many times.
So we start over at 5-5 thanks to the boomstick. And Noesi striking out David Murphy, but Nelson Cruz ties the game on one swing of the bat. Game in which all the pregame focus was on pitching, and the pitchers have both had their issues. U Darvish allowing Ichiro to go 2 for 2, single double. Seager a couple of doubles. 3 innings for U, 7 hits and 5 runs, a 42 pitch first inning, but he starts over after Nelly Cruz's 3-run blast with Ichiro, then Smoke and Seager. Well, getting another warm greeting, running back out to right field after his first homer of the year. Pitch number 76 for Darvish. He's had a lot of run, maybe too much run on that two-seam fastball. 40 strikes against 36 balls. Big year for Ichiro. Last year of his contract, he's 38. Last year, the string of 10 straight 200 hit seasons ended. 10 straight gold gloves, 300 averages. He'd never hit below 303 until his 272 dip last year. And what really stood out was the on-base percentage dropped to 310. Big reason he's no longer leading off. This one is chopped right behind the bag to Moreland.
Oh, that was a big out. Get Ichiro, leadoff hitter.
To Emily Jones.
Well, guys, when I had a chance to sit down with U Darvish during spring training, it struck me how humbled and honored he is to receive all the attention that he does. But it's like you guys were talking about. With that comes the human element and the pressure that he must feel. I will tell you, I've been asked what it's been like to be around him, and I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I liken it to kind of the Cliff Lee experience, as far as you didn't want to bother Cliff too much because he was a guy that kept to himself. He had an air about him, but he wasn't arrogant or cocky by any stretch of the imagination. But he just kind of had that air about him, and I get the same sense with U Darvish, and I think his teammates have been very impressed by the way that he's handled all of the attention that he gets and the way that he's approached it with them, and I think that's what's gone such a far way with them.
That's a good analogy, and I would agree with you. And as a coincidence, his first start's a little bit like Cliff Lee's first start too. Cliff really struggled against the Orioles in his first start.
Well, that's right. That day of a huge walk-up just before the All-Star break 2 years ago, and the Orioles just bombed him into submission that night. Didn't look anything like Cliff Lee. Justin Smoke singled and scored in the first, grounded to second in the second. Smoke, of course, main piece of the Cliff Lee trade. Seattle's standpoint, they had him ranked as the top prospect, not just for the Rangers, but in all of baseball. Sends this one to deep left center field. Hamilton is there, out number 2. Fans 13 and under can join the official kids fan club of the Texas Rangers. Membership in the Junior Rangers Club, presented by Dr. Pepper, is only $15 and provides your Junior Ranger with a sports duffel bag, rope necklace, ticket vouchers, and coupons, and front-of-the-line access to run the bases after Sunday afternoon games. Sign up at TexasRangers.com. Here is Kyle Seager, who rips it, but Cruz reaches up to grab it. And U Darvish has his first 1, 2, 3 inning on just 11 pitches. Boy, did he need that. Question: who was the first native of Japan to play for the Rangers? I bet you remember. He was well known before he got to the Rangers. And he was a pitcher as well. Napoli, Moreland, and Kinsler, the Ranger fourth. 2 in the first, 3 in the third on the Cruz home run against Nuesi. Napoli worked the count full before flying to right. Also leading off the second inning. And the Nuesi pitch count now at 78. As he has given back leads of 4-0 and 5-2.
He walked the first two hitters of the ball game, Kinsler and Andrus. Hasn't walked anybody since.
Second time through the lineup, though, the Rangers are getting some very powerful swings against him. That one drops just in. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I can see how Nuesi can be successful. He's got a good fastball, 92, 93. He's got a pretty good changeup, pretty good breaking ball. You just got to settle down and become consistent. But the stuff is there to be a successful starting pitcher. Good slider right there. Didn't quite get the call, just missed the corner. Mike won't swing it. Many bad pitches. It makes you throw a strike. Yeah, that just missed as well.
Let's check it again with Jim Knox.
All right, thank you, Dave. You know, in honor of U Darvish, they came up with the U Dog here at the Captain Morgan field in center field. Also a fortune cookie. It's wrapped in wonton, crispy, fried to perfection. Also little seaweed seeds on there. This Tomas says he can polish it off, no problem.
I'm gonna kill you.
The sesame seeds going down. Nice, Tomas. Way to go. On south the Captain Morgan Club. Keep it going, Tomas. Come on, here's the fortune cookie, too.
That dog doesn't have a chance. Oh, man. Jim just brings out the best in people, I'll tell you. That guy, he's killing that.
Definitely brings out the ham in people. Oh, he needs a timeout.
There's no time limit. Take your time, man. Enjoy it.
The only pressure he feels is Jim Knox imposed. Moreland pops this one up. It will find the seats. It struck out his first trip. Wessing got these 3 hitters in order in the second. Kinsler will be next. But as he reaches 84 pitches, now activity with Erasmo Ramirez up in their bullpen. Well hit, way back and out of here, and the Rangers lead it.
He's throwing everything he's got, all his pitches, and he just can't get through the lineup without getting one up that a hitter jumps on. And Mitch waited on that off-speed pitch. A little bit down, a little bit in, actually right in his wheelhouse. And he got it up in the air and launched it. The Rangers have turned a 4-run deficit into a 2-run lead now. Good swing by Mitch right there. That feels great to get on the board for your first home run, first RBIs of the year. Actually, it's a changeup. Looks like it on the inside part of the plate. Not actually terrible location, although to a lot of left-hand hitters, you don't want to leave it down and in like that. Comes the manager, and that's probably going to be it from the Wessie.
Eric Wedge is out. Erasmo Ramirez close to, if not completely ready. He better be, because he's getting the ball. So in his third big league start, Hector Noesi given a 4-0 lead before he took the mound. He can't hold it. And he departs trailing 7-5. On Fuel TV Live. Catch 5 hours of coverage featuring our main event, Gustafson versus Silva. That's Saturday beginning at 2 p.m. Eastern. Well, the third big league start did not go well for Hector Noesi. We got that covered in both languages, it would appear. And now the major league debut of Erasmo Ramirez.
Well, Erasmo Ramirez is a 21-year-old from Nicaragua. He's been a very good starting pitcher in his brief minor league career, getting a chance to pitch in the big leagues as a reliever. And you might recognize the name Erasmo Ramirez. The Rangers had a left-handed reliever back in 2003, 4, and 5 who had a changeup, and he called his changeup the Eraser. So if this Erasmo Ramirez throws a changeup and calls it the Eraser, we really have a coincidence. I've only heard the name Erasmo twice, and they both pitch for the Rangers.
First two pitches miss away to Kinsler. Ramirez has only pitched 7 games above Double-A before right now. 7 games at Triple-A Tacoma last year. Start of the year, Double-A Jackson. Combined, he went 10-8 with a .483 earned run average. And he pops Kinsler up foul as Olivo comes back. That's in the seats. And it was given the Rangers their first lead of the night. Cool Bob cooling Moreland down. The Rangers now, Tom, have a total of 6 home runs on the year by 6 different players. And what does that say about the up and down danger of this lineup?
Well, it really illustrates exactly what we know watching the Rangers.
Hard shot picked nicely by the third baseman Seager.
Second hard hit ball by Ian. He walked, scored in the first, then hit a one-hop smash that Ryan turned into an out. Nice play by Seager on the same thing. But really, you can't, even though Elvis has a chance to hit a home run, you can't call him a home run threat. But the other 8 guys in the lineup are all home run threats. And so it's very difficult to pitch through this lineup. You know, you might get a guy to foul one off or pop one up, but sooner or later, the next guy's not going to miss. That's pretty much what we've seen today.
Another sharply hit grounder. This one is right to Kawasaki for out number 2.
But I think anytime you look at the bottom of an order and you see David Murphy, Mike Napoli, and Mitch Moreland 7, 8, and 9, it gives you a pretty good illustration of what this lineup is like. There's a lot of teams where those three guys might be hitting back to back to back, but not 7, 8, and 9.
No one hit more out at home than the Rangers last year. And here is Hamilton, who has struck out and singled. So homers this year by Kinsler, Beltre, Murphy, and Josh both hitting the upper porch last night. Tonight, Cruz, 3-run homer down the left field line. Moreland, 2-run shot down the right field line. So Noesi goes 3 innings and 2 batters, 85 pitches, 50 were strikes. He allows 7 runs on 6 hits, struck out 3 and walked 3. Hamilton puts a charge into this one, deep to center field, and gone. The first Ranger to hit 2 this year, and it's 8-5.
I mentioned earlier in the game that Josh is really swinging the bat well. You could see it the last couple of days, even in batting practice. And the day the Rangers lost to the White Sox, he had the 2 balls that he just missed, and now he's not missing them. There's a changeup that looked like down and in. He actually got underneath this ball, and for him, popped it up. Just came down 400 feet away.
Catch out there over the railing of Greens Hill.
Oh, wow. Got some new moves this year. I believe he probably holds the all-time record for home runs caught.
Love to watch U Darvish struggle through a 4-run first, throwing 42 pitches, and they have now backed him with 8 runs, 7 hits, 3 of which have left the yard. Hamilton for the 2nd straight night doing so. And for the 16th time lifetime against the Mariners. Beltre reaches down and drives that one to center.
I guarantee you, Ramirez is saying, how in the world did he hit that pitch? Not only hit it, but hit it that hard. He's got great hand-eye coordination. He doesn't strike out. He's a good 2-strike hitter, and he can hit pretty much whatever you throw up there. Throw him a fastball up and in, he'll hit it. You throw him the slider down and off the plate, he can reach out and take that kind of a swing and still hit a line drive to center field as hard as most people.
What was the comparison you made earlier?
Kind of like Vladdy. A lesser version. No one's like Vladdy, really. No one swings at the pitches he swings at.
Young swings at the first pitch, bounces to Seager for the out. But Ramirez comes in and gives up the Rangers' 3rd home run of the night, and U Darvish takes the mound for the 5th, leading 8-5. first native of Japan to play for the Rangers was a pitcher by the name of Hideki Arabu in 2002. U Darvish to Saunders, Olivo, and Kawasaki here in the 5th inning. And we welcome Mark McLemore to
Hello.
the booth. Now, we've been talking and listening to Japanese media talk about the hoopla surrounding Darvish's debut tonight, and the comparisons are obvious to 2001 opening day, Ichiro's debut. You were with that Seattle team. What's your comparison?
I think there was a little bit more hoopla when Ichiro got here. And I think the reason for that was he was the first position player to come over and play in the big leagues. And since then, since 2001, there have been a number of Japanese players to come over after. Matsui in New York and a few others. Arabu was here. So I think after that, it's just kind of died down a little bit. It's not such a big deal as it was when Ichiro came over in 01.
Darvish trying to retire his 6th in a row, and he gets Saunders on strikes for the 2nd straight time.
Mac, I remember reading about Ichiro in spring training that year, and evidently he has a style that he uses to get ready for the season, and he was flaring a lot of balls. And what Lou say? Yeah, I like him, but one time I like to see him hit the ball to the right side of the field.
He did, and the day he said that, the very next day we were playing against the Cubs, and Ichiro's first at bat, he hit a home run to right field, and his next at bat, he hit another home run to right field even farther, and he came in the dugout. And Lou said, okay, that's enough. Take it in. That was it. That was it. Because before that, he had been hitting everything to the left side of the infield and even fouling a few balls off into the dugout. And a couple of them almost hit Lou.
And so what do you got? What are his teammates thinking while you're watching him? Are you guys thinking his game's not going to translate over here?
Of course. That's exactly what we were thinking. Now, I had a little bit of insight because we had the same agent.
Right.
So my agent had told me about him, months before, and he's gonna. This is his game plan. This is what he does. But he can pull the ball, believe me. But when I saw him, it was like, man, I had to be careful on deck because I hit behind him. So when he came out and hit those 2 home runs, everybody's questions were answered.
Chopper back to a very good fielding pitcher for out number 2.
7 in a row retired by Darvish. And Mac, I think the thing you have to like the most is after the struggle, how the pitch counts come down, but maybe more than that. Once the team got back in this game, you see a different pitcher out there, right?
Yes, you do. He's feeling really good about himself now. But I think, that first inning, it had to be nerves. Had to be nerves. He's facing, Ichiro, I'm sure somebody that he looked up to when he was coming up, and being over here, making his first start. There was a lot going on for him that first inning, but he's definitely settled down and found a rhythm, and is really throwing the ball where he wants to throw it right now.
Munenori Kawasaki, bases loaded walk in that first, and a single in the 3rd. Well, as I recall, that 2001 Mariner team adjusted well to the hoopla around Ichiro to the tune of 116 wins.
I think that was about right. And really the way we did it, we didn't look at it as a distraction. We had a blast. I mean, we really did. We would do different things with Ichiro. I remember I would try and trick the media by taking Ichiro a different way out onto the field because they literally had every entrance to the field surrounded every day. It didn't matter where we were. So, I'd take him through the stands and come out behind home plate or come through the outfield, and, they'd see him and turn around and, flashes start going off everywhere. So everybody really, did something and a little bit different with him.
High to center field in Hamilton. And the 2nd straight 1-2-3 inning for U Darvish, who can now qualify for a win in his major league debut. Players in the majors. Daisuke Matsusaka, not so hot the last 2 years. Thought to be on his way out in Boston. After this year, perhaps. Hideo Nomo, the trailblazer. And some terrific numbers coming over to the Dodgers in the mid-90s. 4,200 strikeout season, a workhorse, and 123 wins. Darvish has settled down after his 4-run first. His hitters have backed him to the tune of 8 runs, including 3 home runs, and those, we are told, are Japanese strikeout signifiers. Nelson Cruz, big hit of the game. A 3-run homer in the third that tied it.
One thing you always hear about frontline pitchers is they can overcome a bad start and finish strong. And Darvish in the first inning today was probably a pitch or two away from coming out of the game. Feldman was loose. He was over 40 pitches. And then gradually he started to get it together a little bit. And I think he did his best pitching after the Rangers tied it and went ahead. And don't you think that's a pretty good sign, Mac, when a pitcher does that?
That's a really good sign. When you have a pitcher that goes out and gives up a few runs, and especially when it's early, as long as he's not letting it get too far out of hand, that's what you want. He's able to come back and settle down. You know, that's what you're looking for. And I think, you know, like we were talking about Derek Holland the other day, that's what Derek Holland has learned. And I think you knows that. And especially with this offense, keep these guys close, they're going to do some damage. Sure. But being able to really, you know, put a plug in that inning instead of letting it get really out of hand, that's the sign of a good pitcher.
The other thing it does is, you know, we were talking about this earlier, Rangers don't have an off day the first 10 days of the season, so you don't want to spend your bullpen by sucking it up and being able to get out of the first inning and pitch 4 innings. There's 4 innings Scott Feldman didn't have to pitch.
Right.
And, you know, I don't know who's going to pitch the 6th inning. Maybe Feldman, maybe Darvish goes back out. I'm not sure, but it's 4 bullpen innings that a lesser pitcher might have forced the bullpen to use.
Cruz strikes out. And let's go back to our Fox Sports Southwest studio for Mazda CX-5 Game Break. Here's Rick Runner.
C.J. Wilson making his L.A. Angels debut at Minnesota's home opener. Gets the win. 7 innings, 1 run, 3 hits, 5 strikeouts. Angels win at 5-1. They're 2-2. Back to you.
C.J. touched only for a Josh Willingham homer at Target Field. And here's David Murphy, who was grounded into a fielder's choice and struck out his first 2 trips. There's always been curiosity, Mark, about how much English Ichiro understands or speaks. Give us the locker room skinny on that.
There's really not a whole lot of mystery to it. He speaks great English.
Does he really?
He really does, and he has since day one. I think it was people just really didn't think that he could speak English because he always used an interpreter. But no, I saw him today, and first thing he said, "Hey, Frank." He calls me Frank Thomas because I put on weight since I retired, so he calls me Frank Thomas.
He didn't used to call you Frank
No, he didn't used to call me Frank. I can't say what he used to call me. And I really can't say what I used to call him.
So you're talking about baseball humor, how it translates to other countries. There's a good example of it right there.
Great example. And another example is he speaks Spanish, too.
Wow.
Yeah, and people don't know that. So he's out there on, when he's on the bases, he's talking to guys from the Dominican and everywhere else, and he's speaking in Spanish. We didn't know it till maybe the second week, and we were like, "You speak Spanish too?" He was like, "Wow." Give you that sly smile. Yeah. So no, and he can tell a joke. He can tell a joke in Spanish and English and Japanese. So he has a lot of fun.
You might have been better off not mentioning Frank. Because I used to be in a clubhouse too. And I like you a lot, but
Oh, wow.
That'd be too confusing to the audience.
I'll see if I can keep from doing that, Matt. But a lot of people heard that.
We'd have to explain it every time.
Oh, man. Yeah, I guess I could have left that between us.
Well, now, Darvish also learning Spanish. And, that's huge in a clubhouse, to be able to communicate with whomever, whenever.
With everybody, you have to, and I think everybody does it. And him really grabbing that and saying, hey, I need to know this. A lot of my teammates are from Latin America, so I need to be able to communicate, and that's a great sign. He's trying to fit in, and I think he's going to do a great job. I think most teams, Sag, you'll agree with me with this, most teams have this learning curve early in the season where they're trying to gel. I don't think the Rangers have that issue. Most of the guys have been here, and you've got a couple of guys that are new, you being one of them, but I think he's just blended right in like he's been here all along.
I think there's a lot of things that right along those lines, Mac, that'll take the pressure off Darvish. The lineup can score runs. They can play defense. There's other starting pitchers who can get the job done. They've got a strong bullpen. So it's not like he's with a lesser team where he has to go out and win the game by himself. There's a lot of factors, and today's a great example. He's got a lot of help.
Yeah, he doesn't feel like he has to go out there and win 1-0 or 2-1. It's okay to give up a couple of runs.
So Napoli works his second straight walk. And that brings up Mitch Moreland, who drove one well out down the right field line his last trip after striking out in the second. The second of 3 Ranger home runs tonight. Jumps on that first pitch. His home run chased Mariners starter Noesi. The final pitch he would throw. And it gave the Rangers their first lead at 7-5. 2 outs later, Hamilton would homer to center and make it what it is, still 8-5. U Darvish knew what every Ranger starter knows. All Ron Washington expects, all he asked is, give us a chance to win the game. He rebounded after that first and has done exactly that.
It's got to be a great feeling if you're a pitcher on this Rangers staff, knowing that this team is going to score more runs for you than not. You go out there and you keep them in the ball game, they're going to score 4, 5, 6 runs for you pretty much every night.
Had 8 runs in 4 innings tonight. And back to the mound, and Ramirez handles the out. Mark McLemore, thanks for the visit. Very enlightening. We learn a lot about Ichiro.
We did.
And more coming. Rangers Live after the game. We'll see you then. Brendan Ryan, who has struck out and been hit by a pitch. U Darvish about to throw pitch number 99. And a pop up Easily handled by Elvis Andrus. First dollar hot dog night of the season is this Wednesday. Rangers hosting the Mariners at 7:05. You can save 50% on tickets for this ballpark tradition when you purchase them on TexasRangers.com. Get your Ozarka website Wednesday tickets and plan your trip to Dollar Dog Night at TexasRangers.com/specials.
Now, Dave, it's not often that you would see a pitcher with 98 pitches go back out there for the 6th inning, especially after throwing over 40 pitches in the 1st inning. I have to think that Darvish played a big role in that. When asked how he felt, he probably said, "I'm fine, and I definitely want to go back out there." I think Wash is big on trusting his players, and when the player looks him in the eye and says, "I've got it," Wash is going to let him go back out there. Darvish now has retired 9 straight batters.
Higgins the last 2 times he's gotten after a leadoff walk. This one is run down and a nice sliding grab by Hamilton in left center.
Well, in the 1st inning, a couple of bloopers fell in, and that fueled that 4-run inning. Since that time, there's been some hard hit balls. Seager hit a hard hit ball to right field. Higgins hits this shot to center field, but the line drives have gone at the outfielders, and they've been turned into outs. So early, the luck was against U Darvish, and lately it's been on his side. Some of those line drives are being caught, turned into outs.
Josh Hamilton catching everything out in center field.
Well, he said before the season, "I want to play center and I want to win a Gold Glove." So far, he's playing center, and he's playing like a Gold Glover.
Could not have a better start out there.
And Darvish has turned it around now as far as throwing strikes go.
The first couple innings, it was pretty much even split balls to strikes. There's Alexi Ogando. Ready if. 61 pitches since the 1st inning, which cost Darvish 42 pitches. That is the level of efficiency he's now attaining. Trying to retire his 11th straight batter. It's gotten Ackley all 3 times.
That was a good slider, too. Yeah, Ackley's going to be a good hitter. You can tell. He can lay off this pitch as a left-hand hitter. He's showing some discipline. That was close. Could have gone either way. You would love to get Ackley right here and finish 6 innings and not have to come out in the middle of an inning. That's 105 pitches. This will be 106 according to the scoreboard.
And it is ball 4. So Ackley, the first man to reach since Ryan was hit by a pitch back in the 3rd. Mike Maddox will come out as Ogando continues to loosen out in right center field. NASCAR returns to Texas Motor Speedway for night racing during the Samsung Mobile 500 race weekend, April 12th through the 14th. You could win tickets by texting FSN to 63767. Text FSN to 63767 right now for a chance to win. Darvish will get a chance to get out of the inning and get Ichiro, who singled and scored in the 1st, doubled and scored in the 2nd. Last time up, he grounded to 1st. It's 11:12 a.m. tomorrow in Japan. Country transfixed by this matchup, and here's how it's sounding on NHK TV.
アウトコースへのツーシーム、今のボールをイチローがしっかりとバットの芯に当てようとすると多少踏み込んでくる必要がありますから、そういったところでのインコースへのスライダー、胸元にぐっと入ってくるようなボールっていうのも一つ有効ですよね。
左バッターのカットボールというのも持ってはいるんですが、今日はほとんどそういったボールが見られません。膝元に落としてきました。
Kenji Watanabe, play-by-play. So you'll see Yoda, the analyst on the left.
I don't know what they're saying, but they're a lot better looking than the Ranger announcers.
Wouldn't that go without saying? We have to point that out.
I guess I was just saying what everybody was thinking. That's what I try to do.
Well, Darvish's Cactus League debut at 4 a.m. over there had an audience of 1.7 million. And Ichiro has his third hit in their first matchup in America. So, 2 reach with 2 outs here in the 6th. And that will wrap up the Major League debut of U Darvish. In Washington, that will not allow him to face the potential tying run. Weathers a 42-pitch 4-run first and shows why the Rangers shelled out all that money to bring him to America. Darvish will certainly never forget. Probably those in attendance won't either. Very first pitch came to Sean Figgins. Ichiro would begin his first inning troubles, dumping that single to left. Seager ripping a 2-run base hit. Wild pitch to Saunders, got Seager to second. He would then settle down, strike out Saunders twice. Go 5 2/3 innings, and 5 runs on 8 hits, struck out 5, walked 4, ended up at 110 pitches, 59 for strikes. And Ogando throws a breaking ball for strike 1 to Justin Smoke.
Well, I know Darvish was hoping to pitch and not give up 5 runs, but the way the game started, for him to get through almost 6 innings and throw 110 pitches shows that he sucked it up and gave it all he had after that first inning. That's draining to have that much emotion, that much adrenaline, and then throw 40-plus pitches in the first inning. That takes a lot out of you. But he hung in there and pitched 4 or 5 more innings. It was definitely something that you would have expected from Nolan Ryan. I saw him do that time after time. Struggle early, battle through it, give your team a chance to win, save the bullpen, all those things. And it won't be the best line of his career, but he still did exceptional work to get through that deeply in the game. It's also the best ovation I've ever seen for a pitcher who came out of a game with 5 innings, 8 hits, and 5 runs. No doubt about that. Fans appreciate the effort. Sometimes it's more about the stats.
Well, Alexio Gondo has now faced 7 batters, and he has retired all 7. Sonic, tonight's jackpot is worth $300 and dinner for 2 at a Sonic drive-in. Tonight, the Rangers are hitting for Francisco Stigers from Meade, Oklahoma. If a Ranger hits a grand slam during this inning, Francisco will win $25,000. You could register at any participating Sonic restaurant. And for Erasmo Ramirez, the top of the order, Kinsler, Andrews, and Hamilton. He led the first with a walk and scored. Since then, he's grounded out twice. Ramirez coming on in the 4th. And touched for a 2-out homer by Hamilton, followed by a Beltre single and an Napoli 2-out walk in the 5th. Hector Noesi lasted 3 innings and 2 batters, giving up 7 runs on 6 hits. Struck out 3, walked 3. Couldn't hold leads of 4-0 and 5-2. That one splinters Ian's bat. Dribble foul. Tom, we talked about the impact on the attendance for U Darvish on a Monday night, a school night in early April. He added about 50% to what would have probably been the attendance tonight. 42,003 official attendance.
I think there's a lot of years that this Monday night game against Seattle would have drawn between 17 and 21,000, no doubt about it.
Doubled what that would have been.
Now this is a different year, obviously, after going to the World Series twice, but you played a nice role.
Ryan gobbles that one up with some flair. And Kinsler grounding out for the 3rd straight time.
The shortstop, Elvis Andrews.
Here's Jim Knox.
All right, thanks, Dave. Look who we found here. It's pro golfer Hunter Mahan, fresh off that 12th place finish at the Masters, but had to come back and see the Rangers play. Big-time Ranger fan?
For sure. It's been pretty exciting what they've done the last few years, and excited to see U Darvish pitch tonight. Yeah, you grew up in McKinney, played golf there, and also got to meet some of the players before the game. Josh Hamilton, Ian Kinsler, Michael Young. How were those guys? Great guys. You can tell that they're really a team and they're a family, and I think that's the reason for their success. All right, Bubba Watson, good guy to win the Masters. You like him? Oh, he's a great guy. It's a great story. You know, Bubba's he's a true golfer. He loves the game, works extremely hard at it, and it was great to see him win. All right, Hunter, appreciate the time. Enjoy the rest of the game. Dave?
All right, Jim. Does it, as a golfer, Tom, make you just sick to see a guy who has never had a lesson and never studies his swing on video win the Masters? Jealous sick. Admirable sick.
I get jealous anytime I see a golfer that's better than me.
So a big chunk of your life has been in that state.
I've been jealous most of my golfing life. No, those guys are amazing. But you know, to watch him hit the ball in the woods and then calmly walk in the woods, and he said he visualized that shot out of the woods. To hit that ball and make it hook that far onto the green, it's just unbelievable. I don't know who else. I guess Mickelson could have done that. I don't know if any of the other guys could have. But he earned it. He deserved to win it with that shot.
Gary Beat said that was a curveball. There was that much bend to it.
I can do that too, but I'm not trying to do it when my ball does that. If I was trying to do that, it would have gone straight through the fairway.
I could do that any time. Just not when I want to.
That was amazing. And he beat a guy that holed one from 260 yards on the second hole for a 2 on a par 5, a double eagle. That was just tremendous to watch that. Those guys, they're just so good. It's a whole different game watching them play. It's like guys that play slow pitch softball watching the major leaguers play. They're sort of playing the same game, but not really. That's the way the rest of us feel. The only difference is that in golf, even if you're not very good, occasionally you can hit a shot that they hit.
Yes.
And occasionally on a par 3, you can put it within a foot and tap it in for a birdie.
Well,
occasionally you can.
Maybe you, not me. Nice play turned in by Kawasaki with the smoke scoop, and that is a 1-2-3 Ranger 6th. More golf talk from the ballpark. Is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Drive the 2012 F-150 Motor Trend Truck of the Year. Ford is the best in Texas. By AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. And by Jack in the Box. Love bacon? Then try the new BLT cheeseburger combo for only $4.99 plus tax. Dave Barnett and Tom Grieve for the 7th inning. Alexi Ogando will work to Seager, Saunders, and Olivo. Ogando coming in for Darvish to strike out Justin Smoke with 2 on at end the 6th. We'll see if anybody can reach against Alexi. We had a pair of 1, 2, 3 innings Friday and Saturday against the Chicago White Sox. Diving, knocked down by Moreland, recovers not in time to make the throw. There's the first base runner of the year against Ogando.
Almost a great play by Mitch. He got to it. He just couldn't keep it in his glove when he hit the ground. And he made a good choice. A lot of first basemen might have scrambled and tried to force the throw and risk a bad throw. Mitch saw that Seager was going to beat it and hung on to it. Seager looks like he's going to be a good hitter too. He's a 3rd round draft choice out of the University of North Carolina. He's hit the ball hard all four times tonight, really. Last year he got a taste of the big leagues, hit about 260 and 180 at bats. He just looks like a solid hitter.
They're very high on him. He is now 3 for 4 with 3 runs batted in.
It's hard to tell with a young player how much power he's going to have, but he looks like he's going to be a line drive hitter that hits for average for sure, and maybe develop power.
It's pretty much what they need of Michael Saunders, who has struck out his last 2 trips after a first inning walk. Quickly down 0-2. Saunders up 2 years ago as a rookie for 100 games. Hit 10 homers. That was 3rd most among American League rookies. Last year, only 2 in 161 at bats. A little looper, and Andrews makes the play for out number 1. You can follow the Rangers with the MLB.com at Bat12 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, and Windows Mobile. Get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text at BAT to 31826 or visit TexasRangers.com for details. One on, one out in the 7th for Olivo. An RBI single in the 1st. Since then, a strikeout and a bouncer to the mound. Alexi Ogando, his usual strike throwing machine. 8 of his first 10 pitches.
Now you can see why Ron Washington is so happy to have Ogando in the bullpen. They're very happy with Joe Nathan as the closer and Mike Adams as a setup guy, but you can make a case that there's the potential for Ogando to be more valuable than both those guys in his role. A guy that can come in the 6th inning, get you out of a jam, and then pitch the 7th inning. You can't get to the guys late if you don't have a guy like Ogando, and it's such a valuable thing to have. There's a guy that made the All-Star team last year as a starting pitcher.
Yeah, and Tom, just the opening weekend, you looked around and saw some of the major bullpen issues around baseball.
No doubt.
Who would not like to have these guys at the back end? Ogando, Adams, may very well see next inning. And Nathan. Here is Munenori Kawasaki. Bases loaded walk in the 1st, a single and a fly to center since then.
Better tune it up a little bit, Munenori. A little bit tardy on that 97-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yankees had some bullpen issues over the weekend. A blown save by Mariano Rivera. They finally win. They break into the win column tonight, 6-2 at Baltimore. Von Nova over Brian Mattis. And that man will make his Ranger rotation debut tomorrow night here on Fox Sports Southwest. Neftali Feliz.
Dave, we're going to get a chance to see the Red Sox bullpen again. We won't see it, but someone will. They got a 4-2 lead in the 9th inning against Toronto. Their bullpen's been really atrocious so far.
Yeah, they just got 3 in their half of the ninth. And Alfredo Aceves is on, trying again for a save.
They got 2 in the top of the 12th. Gave up 3 in the bottom of the 12th yesterday.
Tomorrow night, Feliz against former Ranger first-rounder Blake Bevan. Game 2 of this 4-game series. Wednesday night, Colby Lewis against another former Ranger, Kevin Millwood. Not long ago, the Rangers' #1 starter. He will face the Rangers' new #1 starter. And then the series winds up, the homestand winds up Thursday afternoon, a 1:05 start. And that's Derek Holland against Jason Vargas.
The last 2 fastballs from Ogando have been 98 miles an hour. Kawasaki's spoiling them. It doesn't look like he's going to have much of a chance to drive one of those. David Murphy's playing him almost in the same spot that he would play Ichiro. Only ball he's going to pull is an off-speed pitch.
2-2. That is just the 4th ball out of the strike zone among the 17 Ogando has thrown.
Kawasaki played for 10 full years in Japan. A 294 lifetime hitter. Not much power. Guy that steals 25 or 30 bases a year.
He's a great player over there. 8 straight all-star teams. Fukuoka, winners of the Japan series last year.
The other thing he's got those little titanium patches on both arms. You see the guys wear the necklaces, and he's got the little patches on each arm. I occasionally wear those just in case they work. Don't really have the slightest idea of what they do or if they do anything, but just in case it gives some kind of added strength to you, it's worth a try.
3-2 pitch. Grounded to Andrews. And
What
a nice scoop by Mitch Moreland.
Wow. What a play by Mitch. I don't know how he caught that ball and kept his foot on the bag.
Almost made a terrific play. On the shot by Seager, he turns one in there. Stretch time, 8-5. By Burger King. Home runs the story. Hamilton, the first Ranger to hit 2. Cruz tied it with a 3-run blast, and Mitch Moreland gave the Rangers the lead with a 2-run shot. Chasing the starter Hector DeWessing in the 4th. And he will bat 3rd this inning against the 3rd Seattle pitcher of the night. One of the great stories, not just in baseball, in sports. Last year, Steve Delabar. This time a year ago, a substitute teacher in his home state of Kentucky. And his story, a little bit like that of Jim Morris, immortalized by the movie The Rookie. He had a major arm injury years ago. Figured his playing days were done. And working with his high school players, he discovered that somehow his arm had regenerated even more power than it had before his injury. He was throwing harder than when he was healthy before. 94 miles an hour there.
Well, looks like he's got a great arm. Looks healthy right now.
Well, the HBO story on Real Sports that is running currently tells the Steve Delabar story very well. And former Rangers pitching coach Tom House is called on to analyze and try to explain what has happened with Delabar, and talks about a new technique that Tom House is using out USC that he thinks may have an impact on bringing pitchers back or keeping them from getting injured in the future. That is as he strikes out Beltre.
Some kind of splitter right there. Bottom dropped out of that thing. That's going to get anybody out. Watch this ball drop. Great pitch.
Well, a new technique we're talking about. Tom House is having pitchers he works with out in California hold a ball and go through the throwing motion but not release the ball. He discovered that tennis players never have shoulder injuries. Mike Adams getting loose in the Ranger pen. They'll have elbow problems, of course, tennis elbow, but they have shoulder problems. And he's decided to try and transfer that over to baseball. Steve Delabar, early evidence to the positive. And working on a pitcher's motion but never actually releasing a ball. Tom House thinks may be an answer, trying to keep pitchers healthier. To Ichiro for out number 2.
Well, last year, after he ended up signing with the Mariners, he pitched in A ball, he pitched in Double A, he pitched in Triple A, and he pitched in the big leagues. He saw time in all 4 different cities, including Seattle. And here he is out of spring training, made the ball club, and looks like he's throwing great. So what a great story. Happy for him.
Didn't pitch at all 2 years ago. Fractured right elbow. Never above A before last year. The hitting hero of the night, Nelson Cruz. RBI single in the first as the Rangers started their comeback from 4-0 down. Then the tying 3-run homer in the third. Struck out last time. Delabar's major league debut last year was nationally televised, and folks were watching in the gym in the school where he had been a substitute teacher. A very emotional experience.
That must have been great. I guess these stories have always been around throughout the history of baseball. It just seems like in the last 10 or 15 years, there's been more of them. Guys coming from nowhere, guys coming out of independent leagues. A guy like Jeff Zimmerman, who graduated from TCU as a non-prospect, ended up pitching in France of all places and coming back to make an all-star team. Guys hang with it. There's such a reward financially if you can get to the big leagues. Minimum salary now is close to $500,000, so there's pretty good reward if you stick it out and can persevere through those kind of circumstances and finally get your chance. I think that's one of the reasons guys hang around a little bit longer now than they used to. Watch out. Whoa.
That one nearly spun his cap.
That one, I think, right off his glove. Boy, Nelly has just smoked 3 balls tonight. 2 line shots to center field and a line shot home run. Let's take a look at this. Right back at him. He actually got his glove up to protect his face, and the ball went right off the top of his glove. That is a scary proposition.
Even slowed down.
Whoa,
see what
man.
A reaction that requires.
That's self-preservation right there, and thank goodness he was able to get out of the way of that ball.
So that'll do it for Delabar. Strikeout, a fly ball, and then a narrow miss, and he gives way to George Sherrill. And a new show called Chevy Hometown Kids. It's not about the score, it's about the experience. So tune in each Saturday at 10 a.m. here on Fox Sports Southwest, or visit hometownkids.tv for more information. Fourth pitcher of the night for Eric Wedge will be veteran left-hander George Sherrill, about to turn 35. And he will work to pinch hitter Craig Gentry, who's going to bat for David Murphy here.
Yeah, Sherrill's been around a long time. He's actually had some years where he's done a good job as a closer. Not in a closer's situation this year. Brandon League is the fine closer for Seattle. Last year he was 3-1 with an ERA of 3 in 51 games, only 36 innings. He pitched situationally last year for the Atlanta Braves. But he did a good job. Only 4 of 37 runners scored. That was the top percentage in the National League.
So for Gentry, this is his first at bat of the regular year. He's been in defensively in a couple of games. Murphy was 0 for 3, a couple of strikeouts. George Sherrill is back with Seattle. Came up with them in 04. With them through 07, then moved on to the Orioles for a year and a half. Dodgers, part of 09 and 2010, and then the Braves last year. And that one is bounced to smoke for the unassisted out. No runs, a hit, and a man left in the Rangers 7th. On to the 8th. At 8-5, and Mike Adams is ready.
It's time for the Jimmy John's delivery of the game, and what better delivery than that of Robbie Ross getting the bullpen goods out to the bullpen. That is the rookie duty, and he has done that over the last couple of games, and he made his Major League debut last night and performed very well, facing 4 batters, getting his first Major League strikeout of Paul Konerko. He was hardly even had his feet on the ground today.
It's unbelievable, getting that first one out of the way was special. All my, friends, my family, and my wife got to be, tuned into it, and, it was great. It was just a dream come true, so I hope I can throw many more, but I'm just thankful for the first one to be out of the way.
Dave and Tom, I asked him if he'd be wearing that cowboy or cowgirl get up to the bullpen every night. He said, you know what, I'm willing to do whatever these guys tell me to do, and I will do it with a smile on my face. Nice to see the rookie complying with the rookie rules around here.
Well, it's not like he has any choice.
Exactly. Very true, very true.
But attitude counts. Mike Adams on for the 8th after Ogando goes an inning and a third, allowing his first hit of the year and getting a strikeout. Adams pitched an inning each of the first 2 games, and in each allowed 1 base hit. Gentry staying in the game in center field, and again moving Hamilton over to the left. This has become the Rangers' late inning outfield alignment. Ryan has struck out, but hit by a pitch and popped out.
Yeah, I think when you look at the alignment late in the game, it's not, and I'm sure Ron Washington would say this, it's not that he lacks confidence in David Murphy. It's just that he has Craig Gentry on the team, and that's Craig's strong suit. And so to utilize his team and get everybody an opportunity to play, this is how he likes to use Craig Gentry as often as he can.
Ryan reaching for that Adams breaking ball.
That just kept breaking away from Brendan. He couldn't hold up.
The other thing, Tom, Craig Gentry against a left-handed pitcher, perfect opportunity to pinch hit and then keep him in the game for his defense.
Yeah, and I think he wants to keep Craig, as Wash likes to say, engaged. And if you keep him in a game, an inning here, an inning there, game after game, and get him in at bat, then when you really need him, he'll be able to produce. Try to keep him sharp. So I think that's a good idea. But there are guys in the league who are subpar defensively, and you feel like you have to get them out of the game to give yourself the best chance to win. David's not that at all. David's a solid outfielder who works hard at it, trying to get better and better. Just that's Craig's strong suit.
0-2 to Figgins. In fact, Ron Washington said the reason that David Murphy has become his starter in left field is because of the improvement in his defense.
There you go.
And his leadership. That one will fall in front of Hamilton out in left field, and Figgins with his first hit reaches for the first time since his game-opening 4-pitch walk. That set the tone for a 42-pitch, 4-run U Darvish first inning, but he settled down, lasted 5 2/3, 110 pitches, 5 runs on 8 hits. He struck out 5, walked 4. Turned it over to his bullpen with a 3-run lead. Ogando followed by Adams. Ackley has struck out, grounded out, lined out, and walked. Darvish trying to finish the 6th inning. Got the first 2 men, and at that point retired 10 straight Mariners.
A lot of strikes for Mike. Thrown 7 pitches. All of them have been strikes.
Ichiro in the on-deck circle. Big for the Mariners if Ackley can reach. He's behind 0-2. Ichiro has 3 hits. They all came off of Darvish. There's now out hitting the Rangers 10-9. They had left 9. The Rangers have left only 5. The 0-2 pitch driven to Hamilton in left for the second out. And here is Ichiro, first inning. First matchup with Darvish. Millions watching back in Japan tomorrow morning. Singled and scored. In the second, he doubled and scored. Grounded to first in the 4th. And was the last man Darvish faced in the 6th. And his single brought on Ogando.
Dave, you mentioned it earlier in the game. Ichiro's played for the Mariners for 11 years. Last year was the first time he didn't get 200 hits. First time he didn't hit 300.
Ten pitches, all strikes now for Adams. This one grounded right on top of the bag to Moreland.
Mitch is picking it over there today, boy.
You won't see that maybe the rest of the year. 11 pitches, 11 strikes. Adams takes care of the 8th. Keeps it 8-5.
Ladies and gentlemen, April 29th.
The 8th Rangers lead the Mariners 8-5. David, top time for the Progressive fan of the game. It has to go to Cora. He brings a few of his family and friends in from Japan to watch you, Darvish. How was it, Cora?
Oh, yeah! I love you!
Guess he liked it. Here's the bag. Here's the hat. Congratulations, Cora. One more time.
You, now, I love you. Yeah!
Having a good time.
Yeah, Jim Knox with his usual calming influence.
Wow.
It transcends the cultures.
It does. It's international. It's universal.
George Sherrill working to Mike Napoli. Bottom of the 8th. Mike. Fly to right. Walked twice. Scored ahead of the Moreland home run in the 4th. And pitch away from his 3rd straight walk. Moreland next, and the top of the order in Kinsler. And there is walk number 3. That brings up Mitch Moreland, who has had a big night. He struck out in the second. Then he chased the starter Hector Noessing with a 2-run home run to give the Rangers the lead in the 4th. Played a sparkling first base as well. That home run, his first hit of the season. He went 0 for 5 against Chicago pitching. Strike 1 from Sherrill. Looking ahead to the Mariner ninth, they will have the middle of their order, 4, 5, and 6, Smoke, Seager, and Saunders. Through the right side and a base hit. Napoli to second. Moreland is 2 for 4. And Joe Nathan will be ready for the ninth. See if it's going to be a save opportunity. Not if the Rangers score here. Ian Kinsler. The Rangers started from the early 4-0 hole by working a leadoff walk. Scoring 1 of their 2 in the first. Since then, he's grounded out all 3 trips. First, I guess you'd call it typical Rangers ballpark game after a pitcher's duel in the White Sox series. This one called for slugging, and the Rangers were up to it. 7 runs and 3+ innings against Noessing. Since then, the bullpen has been sharp for Eric Wedge. Erasmo Ramirez pitched 3 innings, a run on 2 hits, struck out 3. Delabar 2/3 allowed a hit. Sherrill facing his 4th batter. He's gotten a ground out here in the 8th. A walk to Napoli, followed by the Moreland single. And that one is hit a long way down the left field line. Gone! Kinsler with his 2nd homer of the year. A 3-run blast.
Puts the finishing touches on it to the point where I think Joe Nathan already sat down in the bullpen. Rangers go from a save situation in a 3-run lead to a 6-run lead now, as Ian gets a pitch on the inside part of the plate right where he likes it. And let's see, looks like Scott Feldman is going to get up and maybe get his first inning of the year in today. It's almost the same shot that Nelly Cruz hit. Almost the same spot. Line drive right down the line.
Same trajectory.
Yep.
Well, Washington looking for a chance to get Scott Feldman into a game. And he now has it. Thanks to the Rangers' 4th home run of the night. As many as they had in their first 3 games. Kinsler now joining Hamilton as the first Rangers with multi-homers on the season. Josh going deep against Erasmo Ramirez in the 4th inning tonight. One of his 2 hits. And U Darvish 3 outs away from winning his major league debut. which he was forced to throw 42 first inning pitches. Chopper slowly hit, bare hand pick at third by Seager, and a nice dig at first by Smoke.
It wasn't an easy play for Seager. Ball stayed down. Had some pretty good hands to catch that ball. And a little help from Justin Smoke over at first base to pick it in the dirt.
Both teams are error-free. Here is Hamilton. First inning strikeout, single in the third, the homer in the fourth, and grounded to second last time. And again going after the first pitch. This game has turned into everything the Mariners experienced at the hands of the Rangers last year. Everything they had to have feared would continue this year. But thought maybe not tonight after the way the game started. They got all 5 of the runs in their first 2 at bats. But it is a now 9 unanswered run stretch that they have taken off on since it was 5-2 through 2.5. And Hamilton has his 3rd hit of the night.
I've said it a couple of times tonight. He's swinging the bat well right now. He's feeling good. Struggled in spring training to find his timing. A little bit behind, a little bit ahead, way out in front of breaking balls, swinging at some bad pitches. He kept working and working and working, and it peaked right at the right time. Turning it on now that the bell rang.
Lucas Lipke now beginning to throw. He's the other left-hander in the Mariner bullpen besides Sherrill.
Kind of fun to be able to look down there and actually see the guys in the visiting bullpen. Couldn't do that in the old bullpen.
Beltre has been aboard all but his last time out when Delabar struck him out.
It's a better look at the wide angle look of the bullpen.
Yeah, it used to be such a guessing game even for us. Who do they have up there?
I know. Visiting bullpen guys have to love that after what they've had here before. I never really felt sorry for them. I thought it was a nice home field advantage for the Rangers.
Yeah, they could do it in their parks if they wanted.
Seattle's not great. That bullpen out there, it's not a bad bullpen to be in, but boy, those fans can reach out and touch you.
Beltre hitting into the 6-4-3 double play, but the Rangers get another 3-run home run, their 4th long ball of the night. Midwest brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Visit your local Ford dealer and drive the 2012 F-150 Motor Trend Truck of the Year. Ford is the best in Texas. By Burger King, proud sponsor of opening week baseball. And by the Progressive Insurance Group. For money-saving car insurance quote, call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today. Rangers Live coming up. Here is Dana Larson with the preview. Hi, Dana.
Hi, Dave. And boy, the first of 4 with Seattle has been a wild ride, and we are looking forward to the postgame show coming up here in just a little bit. It is Rangers Live. Join me and Mark McLemore. Emily Jones will be in the clubhouse. We'll have Ron Washington's postgame thoughts and also U Darvish's postgame press conference, and you won't want to miss any of that. That is coming up right after the final out of this one, Dave.
Yes, that is a packed show you guys have ahead of us as Scott Feldman comes on for the first time this year. Vied for a starting role in Cactus League play. Pitched well enough many years to have made the Rangers rotation. Alberto Gonzalez taking over for Beltre at third. And this is Alex Liddy pinch hitting for Justin Smoak. Liddy, fairly significant historical geographical figure in that he is the first native of Italy, developed in Italy, to make the major leagues as part of the Major League Baseball International European Academy, up for a 15-game Major League debut last year. And a base hit out to right field for Liddy. The 11th hit for Seattle, one fewer than the Rangers. So Feldman, last member of the Rangers rotation to get a chance to appear in a game. It's been a big night for Seager. 2-run single in the first, scored a run, RBI double in the second. He drove in the most recent run scored by Seattle. That made it 5-2. Since then, he's lined to right, Reese on an infield hit. To left field, over toward the line is Hamilton for the first out of the ninth inning. And Feldman will face another pinch hitter, and Casper Wells, who will bat for Michael Saunders. Wells over from Detroit at the trade deadline last year, part of the Doug Fister trade. Eleven runs on 12 hits, no errors, 5 left for the Rangers. 5 runs on 11 hits, no errors, and 10 left for the Mariners. They have not managed to go deep. Most of those hits singles. 4 of them in the first inning. Only 6 since then. Oh, and 2 to Wells. Rangers hoping for a double play to end it.
If Scott can get out of this inning without a run scoring, the Rangers bullpen will have pitched 12 1/3 innings and only given up 1 run. home run that Alex Rios hit to win the game. That's the only run the bullpen will have given up.
That's sinking low for a 2-2 count. Darvish 5 2/3. Ogando 1 1/3. Adams an inning, each allowing 1 hit. That one just foul, and Feldman has allowed a hit here in the ninth. We were talking about rocky bullpen starts earlier, Tom, but Boston did hang on and win for the first time 4-2 at Toronto.
Yeah, Yankees and Red Sox both avoided going 0-4.
First time they both started 0-3 since 1966. Go again for a full count to Wells. And Red Sox got a save out of Aceves. Win out of Atchison, and the Toronto's closer, the loser, Sergio Santos, the former White Sox closer.
Well, closers, it's such a tough job. Aceves came into the game the other day, yesterday as a matter of fact, with a 3-run lead in the 9th inning, gave up a single, and a 3-run homer to Miguel Cabrera, and that was it for him. Bobby Valentine brought him back the next day. He knows if they're going to win right now, he's the best they've got for a closer, so he's going to have to use him.
Boston got 3 in the top of the 9th off Santos.
Andrew Bailey has a chance to miss most of the season with a thumb injury. Red Sox lost Jonathan Papelbon to free agency and traded for Andrew Bailey, fine closer from the A's, but they're not going to have him. The bullpen is severely depleted right now.
Bailey with a thumb ligament injury requiring surgery. He's just glad he's not out for the year. 3-2 pitch is popped up and drifting back a ways. Andrews has out number 2. So, last hope for the Mariners, their catcher Miguel Olivo, who singled in a run in the first. Since then, a strikeout, a ground out, and a foul out. 42,003 on hand for the debut of Darvish. And trying to help Feldman home. Runner goes, takes second on defensive indifference. So Liddy gets himself into scoring position. Scott Feldman all the way back from knee miseries. Opened last year on the DL. Strong in the postseason. Very strong spring. But really you can look at it as being caught in the numbers game, hoping to return to the rotation. A former 17-game winner. And the Mariners down to their final strike.
That's good workout for Scott. It's tough for a manager to manage his long reliever because you want him available for every game. But at the same time, you've got to get him work to keep him sharp. And that's why Scott's in there right now. He hadn't pitched the first few games of the year. He needed to get out there.
The 1-2 pitch is looped to Andrus, and that takes care of a win for U Darvish in his major league debut. He weathers, to say the least, a rocky start. A 42-pitch, 4-run first. Hangs in there for 5 2/3 and 110 pitches.
He's got to be thinking, I'm going to like playing for this team. I like getting 11 runs in the ball game. He also likes getting that first one out of the way, too. get the pressure, the adrenaline, all that stuff out of the way. And now maybe be able to settle down.
Well, he had the boomstick and a few other long balls behind him. He had a stout effort by the bullpen. Ogando, Adams, and Feldman go the final 3 1/3, allowing no runs on 3 hits. 2 strikeouts, no walks from the Ranger relief corps tonight. And let's go down to Jim Knox.
All right, thanks, Dave. Ranger bats in high gear tonight, especially Nelson Cruz. 3 for 4 at the plate, including that game-time 3-run shot in the bottom of the 3rd. Take us through that one, Nelson.
Important, giving some run support to Darvish and make himself go out there and try to destroy strikes,
U Darvish's debut tonight struggled early, but then settled down at one time, retired 10 straight batters. Your thoughts on U's performance?
Yeah, definitely. I know his second start probably going to be better. He needs to slow down and make sure he throws right. That's all.
All right. How about the bullpen? Only 1 run given up in the last 12 and some innings. Your thoughts on that?
Great. We know since day one we come up from the spring training, we got a great bullpen, and they show I know right now.
All right, Nelson. Congratulations on the big game, Dave.
All right, Jim, this one goes to the Rangers, first of the 4-game series, 11-5. And they improved to 3-1, dropped the Mariners to 3-2. Rangers Live is coming up next.